Welcome back to the IB Investor channel, and in this video we're going to go through Hexatronic and its most recent fall here today, where the stock declined by more than 35%. Before jumping into the news that laid waste to the massive share price decline today, we'll talk a little bit about this guy. So this guy is Fraser Paring, one of the founders of Viceroy Research that specializes in short selling, basically betting that the stock will go down. He has made some bold acquisition historically against many famous companies in Sweden, for example SBB or Samhällsbyggnadsbolaget, but also have some international companies which he has shorted successfully, such as Wirecard. So the firm is headed by this guy, Fraser Paring, and he has a good track record of identifying companies that are either frauds or have suspicious accounting, or just finding companies that are mismanaged in general. So this guy, Fraser Paring, as you can see, made a Twitter post here a couple of months ago. So on the 17th of May, he made this post about Hexatronic, where he made some bold accusation here, where the company that he thinks had been buying overvalued pieces of XX for a while here. As you can see, I'm not going to pronounce that word. So, they wish to support it all because of the Hexatronic share price, and they appear to think that it's immune to the same issues as its competitors. So, he made some acquisitions or accusations here that he thought, that they had overpaid for some companies here. And this was, we have to remember that some of these acquisitions were probably made during a period of, kind of hysteria, where a lot of companies just made a lot of acquisitions for very high prices. So he's basically, pointing this out, that he thinks that they made a lot of bad acquisitions here. And he also made a post, I think, on one of the bigger news media letters here in Sweden, where he made some accusations as well about the organic growth of those companies that, Hexatronic had acquired. Now for the share price development here in terms of the news here that just landed this afternoon here. So we can see that the share price dropped by more than 35% or almost 36% here today. So the share price is currently trading at 17.455 Swedish kroners here. And we can see the big drop here at the end of the share price view here. And also we did have a drop here when the Q3 report came here. So quite a rough story here for the shareholders owning this stock. And it has been under a massive pressure here, where the stock has gone down by more than, 87% here for the rolling 12 months here. So very frustrating, I would assume, for the shareholders holding the stock. But we did have some bad news, and I'm not sure if the stock market is overreacting or if it's going to fall more here during the coming trading days here. But very steep fall here, 2 times actually here. So one time here at the end of the October, and one massive drop here again here at current day here. So very unfortunate for shareholders holding the stock, and obviously a tough day for them. Now for the press release here that sent the stock, way down here today. So it's basically a downgrade here of its short-term outlook. So instead of, the 15 to 70% that they forecasted here in the Q3 earnings report here, just a few weeks later, they're now expecting a 12 to 14% here. And we can also see that it does affect 160 full-time and part-time positions. So, it is some bad news also for the staff here that works at this company, that, some of their, employments here will be eliminated here, unfortunately. But it's not just going to be in production. It looks like it's also going to be for the white collar workers here within Fiber Solution and several of the company's geographical markets here. So quite tough also for the company, or rather for the workers who work at the company here. And the change is not going to happen until the first quarter here of 2024. So I would have assumed, or I would assume when reading this, that, this news came quite late here. So management was probably not expecting this themselves, that the market was going to be this weakened as it turns out to be right now. So that's why, the changes won't happen, the next month or something like this. It's going to take some time here. So somewhere in the first quarter, so it could be the end of the first quarter as well, where most of these costs are fully realized. So quite a different here and a big turn of events here for this company. So some repetition here. So it's basically the fiber solution here that continued to weaken during the fourth quarter, and especially here during the German market and the US duct market here. So this probably caught management by surprise here, which is why they're acting now so fast here to try, to fix this somehow. But, since this is coming now and not in the third quarter that they just had a few weeks ago, the market situation must have turned for the worse quite quickly here, which is my expectation here, why this news came out here, because it was not so long ago where they had the Q3 report here. However, for some positive things here, he does expect the market to gradually recover here in the second half of 2024. But we have to remember investors are very impatient. Investors does not have enough time to wait 2-3 quarters until changes are going to happen. So this is also probably just an add-on on why the stock fell so much today, because many investors doesn't have any patience, to wait around for that turn of events to happen. So even though the CEO is optimistic here for the second half of 2024, it's way too long in the future for the patience here for the investors. So quite a dramatic day for investors here holding the stock here, not just in the long run, but also for the short run here, since, we've seen the stock dropping like 50% in very short time here. So, I do hope that the company will recover somewhat, as many investors have lost a great deal of capital here owning the stock, even for the short period here. But, I don't personally hold any shares in this company, as I'm a little bit afraid of companies that are affected by short sellers. But I do feel really bad for the shareholders here who've held the stock here, especially those holding the stock since the top levels here. And what I don't like about this company, generally speaking here, is that management and insiders here sold stock, sold shares at about 1 year ago when the share price was almost at top levels. So, if anything, the lesson here is to be fearful when insiders are dumping the stock here. And I think it's just, it just happens again and again. And it's just sad to see that, insiders knows when to profit, perhaps at least a portion of their, returns here. And it's often on behalf of many investors who climb on, and gets on board when it's too late, so to speak. And it's just, especially this company's just been one bad news after the other here for this year. So very tragic development here for the company, not just the share price, but the company itself as well. That the underlying business just seemed to be falling apart here. So I do hope that the recovery will come here in the second quarter, as the CEO did allude to. But as I mentioned here previously, it's a long time to wait three quarters to see the return, and we don't know what the return is going to look like. So, yeah, very dramatic and tough day here for the investors here holding the stock right now. So a short video this time, but I just figured it was, interesting just to see what the press release was all about, but also, digging up some old histories here about, the company that did some short selling here in the past. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and please like the video if you did like the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content here. Thank you very much for watching, and have a pleasant day.